Hello, I'm Marion County Commissioner Sam Brentano, and I'm here with Richard Walsh, and we're here with a number of other people to talk about a big event coming up in our community in the next couple of weeks, a big toy build in Keizer. And lots of information on it. Should be a really exciting event in itself. But we thought we'd start with just a little bit of the history. That's why we brought Richard in. And if you would tell us, there's three items. There's the water trail itself, and then the park, and then this current big toy project. So maybe start out with the water trail. That was kind of the beginning of things.
Sure. Kind of at the very beginning, Keizer historically has had kind of its waterfront kind of built upon over the years, and so we've lost some access. And so in 2000, when I got on the city council, we started exploring ways to reconnect to the Willamette River. And in 2003, the city council did a proclamation to try to reconnect, but we were having a lot of trouble doing it by ourselves. And then we realized that we shared some interest with Salem and with other communities, Independence and all the other communities up and down the river, of how to try to get parcels along the river, get public access, get people so that they can get canoes and kayaks and water inflatables up and down the river. And so we realized that Salem, for example, could get in the water pretty good, but then a few minutes later, they were in Keizer, and there was nowhere to get out until you get to Willamette Mission Park. And that's many hours down the road. And so they needed a spot in between. Salem people needed a spot in between, and we needed a spot, just period. We needed to get to the river. And so we kind of collaborated together and started to work together, and we built this partnership called the Willamette River Water Trail Partnership. Actually, it was initially called other names, but that's kind of how we ended up. And so from that, we realized and kind of focused in on this parcel of land, which actually Marion County identified in 1972 in your master plan. It was Beardsley Bar parcel, and then we also identified a need in Keizer for a West Keizer Park, and then West Salem also had their issues with the Marine Park, but of course, like I said, they couldn't get out of the river. So we all worked together and made this work, and that was kind of the genesis of the water trail project.
So then the Keizer Rapids Park's really taken off in like the last 5-6 years, perhaps longer, and a little bit there about what's there.
Oh, okay.
And I got to interject here that this is kind of a regional park. Although it isn't a Marion County park, it's very much intended for the use of all the residents of Marion County and around.
Oh, well, it kind of is a Marion County park. Like I said, you started off with the Marion County master plan wanting it, and then we got the Oregon State Parks to donate. Really, there was a large parcel of land right there, and that was used for the building of I-5. The Keizer Rapids parcel was actually a gravel pit used for building I-5. And so it was owned by Oregon State Highway Division and by the Oregon State Parks. And then they had some other areas there that they couldn't actually let the people on because they couldn't maintain it. So Marion County and Keizer joined together and went to the state of Oregon and went all over the place. And we got these grants. We got unprecedented amount of grants because of the high level of cooperation there was between Marion County and Keizer and Polk County and Salem and all the different regions up and down the Willamette River, trying to secure this wonderful, fantastic piece of land that has historical significance and cultural significance, and it's got beautiful old growth timber, and it's got plants of all kinds of varieties, and we all came together to make it happen.
Now the city bought a piece of property too, didn't they? So what's the total size of the park?
Well, the total size is, I keep getting thrown up because we changed it. I think it's 100.
Just say it's growing.
About 140 acres total.
So nice.
And what happened is we just recently purchased 28 acres, and that added to the 85 acres that Oregon State Parks donated, or basically gave us a cost-free lease. Plus, Keizer purchased 2 parcels of land, which cost, originally about $1.2 million, which in Keizer dollars is about $1 gazillion. I mean, it's just unheard of. It was like, there's no way we could get this. But the landowners themselves actually donated part of their land, and both of them were willing to sell, and they wanted to create the park, and we created a network of grants and foundations with Janet Carlson. Commissioner Janet Carlson has just been absolutely phenomenal in helping us with that. So it really is a regional park. Yes, Keizer will be doing the police work and will be, picking up the garbage, but really we view this always as a regional park. We got the money because it was going to satisfy regional needs of Marion County, as well as Salem, as well as Keizer, as well as West Salem. This area is to benefit from this park, and that's the whole idea.
Now, I know of a few things. I know there's a stage, and I know the dog run and different things, but tell us about what's there at the park, maybe hours, anything people might like to know, and
sure.
Then we'll get into the next part and further interviews.
Yeah, well, so far, so the park officially opened in 2006. and we originally started with a few dirt trails and basically
I remember
natural
something about
trails.
poison oak. I forgot.
There was a lot of talk about poison oak early on because those trails were built by people just walking through the park, and as we say, following the footsteps in the snow. But these were footsteps in the poison oak, and it was causing a little bit of trouble. But we managed to get the trails wider with mostly volunteer work. I mean, it's amazing what we did with volunteers, and we got paid paths in there now, and we've got most of the poison oak, at least in all the areas that you would go to, is being cleared out. And we also have a great partnership. We have a golf course there, a Frisbee golf course, and those guys are fantastic in going in and taking care of the poison oak. So they've got that handled in that area around the course, and the trails are all maintained. So it's not really an issue now unless you just want to go off into the bushes for some reason, which I wouldn't recommend.
I shouldn't even brought it up, but
well, it's a good reason
I
to keep
just
your dog on a
remember
leash.
you talking about it the first time you were out there.
Yeah. Right now it's our deterrent for people to take dogs
There's a
off
boat
a
ramp
leash.
there, and access to the river's like what? Is there a swimming area, or what's the
Oh yeah,
story
yeah.
there?
So we have swimming area. There's a camp-in area that you can actually, if you take your boat down the water trail, you can camp at. There's also picnic areas, several of them scattered through the park. There are miles. I don't know exactly how many miles now we have of actual trails through the old growth and also through some open areas. We have areas where you can throw frisbees. We have areas where we have a wonderful dog park that was provided by basically donations from a local veterinarian that wanted to help with the dogs and get some exercise. So we've got a fantastic dog park. We have a small dog park area so that they don't get eaten by the big dogs. So people were worried about that. So we have big dogs and little dogs separated. We have, and it's really, I think, the best one in the whole region is our dog park. And if you haven't been there, you really should go there with your dogs. And it's acres and acres, and so you can have all kinds of room. We got crushed granite, so there's no mud there. We got wonderful grass that they get to play in for acres. It's a fantastic dog park. And then we also have river views along the trails. We have paved trails now, so there's no issue about the poison oak anymore. We have a boat ramp that is state of the art. It's won a national award for the best designed boat ramp of our community size in, I believe, the nation. I mean, this was a fantastic award that we got, and it was built really with the cooperation of all the different involved members, including the neighborhood. And then, of course, we have our prize jewel is the amphitheater, which Clint Holland and other volunteers in the Rotary Club all volunteered hundreds and hundreds of hours, and they built this fantastic amphitheater where we have summer concerts every summer, and we have they're free summer concert
and
series.
well attended, I'm hearing.
Very
too.
well attended, and it's just a fantastic thing. So now the park has really kind of become, our last survey was, a couple of years ago, the survey was, where's Keizer Rapids Park? Nobody even knew. Now it's the favorite, park in the city in the last survey. And it is you can argue about the Little League because they have a lot of activity at once, during that season. But between the Little League and Keizer Rapids Park, it's the most used park as well in the whole city. So, and it's becoming more and more of an attraction to the region. We've been going around a whole region, and people are starting to learn about it. And that's great because it's not just for Keizer, it's for everybody.
Super. Well, I don't know what else to say, but we'll wrap it up there unless you want to add anything.
Well, I think
I made you rush through some items, and
well, I got 43 seconds. You know what? I think I'm going to shock the mayor and say that's pretty much that
right,
I'll give her an extra
thank
42
you, Richard.
seconds. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Commissioner Kevin Cameron, and I'm here today with Lori Christopher, who is former mayor of Keizer. Lori, it's good to be here with you. Good to see you outside of where we normally would see each other.
Thanks. You too, Commissioner.
Past. Yes. Well, we're talking today about the Keizer Rapids Park, but we really want to change the focus from the park itself to a great project that I've been educated on by Commissioner Carlson quite often, that we have a regional park and we're at Keizer Rapids, and we're going to be doing a project called the Big Toy.
Correct.
Tell us why we're doing the Big Toy.
Well, the impetus for that is that we've added a lot of amenities to the Keizer Rapids Park, and there's something there for almost everyone, unless you're under the age of 12. And if you're a young person, there wasn't a lot to do in the park other than hiking, concerts, the free concerts in the summer. So those are enjoyed by all of our families. But we really wanted to focus on children, and the main reason for that is all of the emphasis that has been on childhood obesity, which is increasing exponentially from where it was even 10 years ago. In 1980, childhood obesity in children under the age of 12, 7%. Now it's double digits. In ages 12 to 19, it's up to 21%. And when you start out with children, young children, and obesity occurs at that age, that stays with them for a lifetime. And it's not enough just to have a small playground in a park. When we talk about the big toy as we're building a playground, I don't think folks realize that this is a 15,000 square foot playground with amenities that are unique to the Pacific Northwest. And it's going to draw kids to want to be there and want to be active. And that's exactly what we want.
I'm on my way.
I know,
Sounds
me
great.
too.
Yeah. So tell us about how how you came about to pay for this, how you raised the money a little bit, and
Okay.
Different groups that are involved with that.
Most of the original seed money came from system development charges, and those are charges that we all pay as homeowners, and they pay for the amenities that we all share. They pay for water, they pay for roads, and they pay for parks. And so the parks SDCs were allocated about $100,000 as seed money to this project. And then in addition to that, we applied for grants. And so we got a number of different grants from a number of different places. And then the excitement started to grow. And private business wanted to become involved, and private citizens wanted to become involved and wanted to put their mark and leave their mark. You know, you have very few times when you're able to be a part of changing history. Right. And if this park helps in any way to change the history that's begun with children who are sedentary, sitting on sofas, using video games, and getting them out and getting them playing and giving them a more active lifestyle, we've really seen a lot of people in the community want to step up and be a part of that, including me. There's going to be a Christopher bench that will be there for 20 years that'll say, we supported this project, we want to be a part of it.
Fantastic. So tell us a little bit of how you're educating the community about the Big Toy Project. And I know that community stretches as far as Staten and other places. I've been with Commissioner Carlson where we've talked about it. Tell us a little bit about how you're promoting that and what the team's doing.
Well, everybody's promoting the Big Toy all the time. So there is a team of about 11 people that are on the committee, and in addition to, I'm on the fundraising portion of the committee, but in addition to that, our task is always to share and talk about the Big Toy and get the word out. Commissioner Carlson has been invaluable. I'll tell you, she has got us into chambers of commerce, Rotary meetings, City Hall meetings, and we've all been willing, just like we are today, to come and talk about it. Because not only does it benefit the city of Keizer, but it benefits entire Marion County and all of the surrounding cities. This is something that we're all going to be proud of and enjoy for years to come.
Yeah, you talked a little bit about the private sector. Can you mention some of the big partners that that have helped with either in-kind donations or cash donations?
Absolutely.
Time?
One of them is the Keizer Volcanoes. We're going to have a volcano slide that the kids are going to have handholds. They get to climb up the volcano and then they get to slide down through Crater's legs. That's going to be a huge draw. We also have Lowe's and Home Depot who are partnering with us, Big Town Hero, Hagen's. So a lot of the businesses that are not just Keizer businesses, but they're community businesses in Marion County that want to be a part of it.
Great. So what do you think will be the main attraction for people coming from a regional perspective? You know, I know, for instance, my daughter lives right down the street with her husband. They're going to have a grandbaby I'm going to have a grandbaby in July. I know they'll use the park, but what will draw people from far away to this park?
Well, the sheer size and diversity, because with 15,000 square feet, you're going to be able to accommodate a lot of kids. There are also, many of the amenities are universal access, so children with all abilities or disabilities will be able to use a lot of the amenities that are in the playground itself. But the thing that I think they're really going to like is that it's going to be unique to Keizer and Oregon. We've got the Smith Rock climbing wall, we've got the volcano slide, we've got the Willamette Queen paddle boat, we've got the Iris Castle, we've got the Wallace House log cabin. Those are all things that we've all grown up with and that we know are unique to our beautiful home in Oregon. And this was designed by 3,400 school-aged kids in every single elementary school in Keizer. And so they're the ones that said, this is what's of interest to us. You build this, we'll come.
So not is it going to be a physical thing for them, it'll also be a mental historical lesson as they go there.
We
and
hope so.
You can teach the young people about our history as they're going there. Great. Talk about the remaining funding and
Okay.
work that you need, cash-wise or in-kind activities that you need.
We have done a great job, and like I said, there's so much interest in the project that it's really a matter of allocating time to get back to folks and let them make a decision on what they want to fund. But certainly there's always going to be a place for anyone who wants to contribute either in kind or in money or both. And we're going to do a community build that's going to be on June 10th through the 14th. So everybody, if you have zero skills, we've got a place for you. If you're a highly skilled construction worker, we really have a place for you. And we can have children from the age of 16 on up to adult that are able to work on the construction site. We'll have childcare provided, but in addition to that, we have an opportunity to have kids there working, toting this and carrying that and lifting this. So it'll really be a big party that at the end of it, we're all going to have a playground that we can be proud of and celebrate.
Yeah, that's great. I know Commissioner Brentano and I have talked about maybe taking a drift boat in one of those days and actually landing at the park and seeing if we can help out after
I
we catch
think
some
we should
salmon.
hold you to that. And I think you should bring the salmon.
Yeah. Well, is there anything else you want to share with the folks around the area about this particular big toy project?
I just want to say this is a highly successful public-private partnership that we're all going to be proud of. You'll want to be a part of it. And so whether that is you volunteering for a 4-hour shift, or you writing a check for $100, or you sponsoring one of the component pieces, you can be involved as little as you want or as much as you want. Personally, I plan on being there the entire 5 days of the build, and I know a lot of the committee does and a lot of our community does. You can get further information at keizerbigtoy.org, or if you just Google Keizer Big Toy, we've been hit so many times now that you'll come right up on Facebook or right up on the internet.
Great. Lori, thank you so much for
Thank you, Commissioner.
your leadership over the years in Keizer and in our community. And I just want to stress that your leadership, as well as many others, has helped not only Keizer but Salem become one of those great places to live. And this big toy and the park will be another addition to the great livability that we have here. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
It's great.
Hi, I'm Janet Carlson, and I'm here with Marlene Quinn, and we get to wrap up this discussion of the Keizer Big Toy. Very excited to be here with you, Marlene.
Thank you.
Thank you for being on the program. So you are on Keizer City Council now, right?
Yes, I am.
And we just met with Lori Christopher, who was retiring mayor, former city councilor, and Rich Walsh, who was on the council. And you are the chair of the Big Toy Task Force.
That's correct, yes.
So how are you feeling about this project?
I'm feeling good. 18 months ago, I wasn't feeling so good. We were a little overwhelmed, but now I'm feeling good. Everything is coming together, and I'm very excited.
So how did you get to be the chair of the task force? How did that happen?
I was appointed actually by former Mayor Lori Christopher because of my background being on the parks for several years, and then also the Parks Liaison, Council Parks Liaison. So she felt that, and my history, obviously being at the beginning of the task force with you guys back in 2000, she felt that I would be a good fit to be the chair, and I was up to it. So I said, I'll take it on. So I did.
And I think we've heard throughout this program how Keizer just has a lot of energy, a lot of spirit, a lot of volunteerism. So tell us about the volunteers that serve on the task force, and especially our project manager, Mark Collier,
Yes.
who is a volunteer also,
He is a
right?
volunteer, that is
Yes.
correct. And Mark's probably putting in obviously more hours than any of us. He's probably putting in 40 hours a week just being the project coordinator. But Mark is the project coordinator. He puts all the task force people, you know, he keeps them in line, making sure they're on task to do what they need to do to complete the project, that they've met with their prospective volunteers and so forth. And so he's doing a great job. They keep me in the loop all the time, of course, because we need to know, you know, when we need to do something. So, you know, you're the great organizer and he's the manager, and it's worked out perfect, both of you. So it's been really good. And I can't say enough about Mark's enthusiasm and will do, can do attitude. It's fantastic.
Now, one of the things I don't know if it's been mentioned yet is that we have a consultant group, and that was paid for with part of that first $100,000 that Keizer put in.
That is correct,
Leathers
yes.
and Associates, and you want to tell us a bit about them and how they're...
Yeah, Leathers and Associates is from, they're based out of New York, but they have been doing these parks for probably about 40 years. They've done in 30 states, 30 or 40 states, and 7 international countries. They've built these projects, and they range anywhere from 5,000 square feet to probably to 20 to 25,000 square feet. So, and it's a community build. It's always considered a community build, and so each of these communities that have this have done similar to what we're doing.
Right, it's really interesting when we got that handbook, and I serve on the task force, and I tell people it took a few minutes to download. It's several hundred pages
is.
long, full of forms and all the committees that you need. And we have lots of committees, lots of work going on. Now, another thing that we have done with volunteer effort is our website. Tell us about the website.
Yeah, the website was put together by Valerie. Valerie worked for Steve Jobs, who you know is the Microsoft person in the world, and she volunteered her time and to put together this awesome website that is so user-friendly. And if anything you need to know about the big toy, anytime you want to volunteer, you want to donate, anything is so simple, a click of the mouse, and it's right there at keizerbigtoy.org. So she put that together. You know, we kind of threw out our ideas, and she just put them all together, and it's a great website. Great website.
Right, so as you mentioned, if people want to volunteer, and Lori talked about that the community build is June 10th through
Correct.
14th, you can actually sign up to volunteer on the website.
Correct.
If you want to see pictures of the components and see what's going to be there, and they're renditions because we're going to build the new thing, but these are ones in other parks, and you want to purchase a component or purchase a picket, you can do that. And we didn't talk about the pickets yet. I don't think Lori did, so talk about that.
So the actual park is surrounded by a picket fence. And the picket fence will surround the whole entire park, so there's probably about 1,000 or 1,100 of those. But you can buy a picket fence, and what I mean by buying is you for $35, like a family, you could put your name, inscribe your name on there. A business can do it for $50, or you can buy 4, I think, for $100. And you can inscribe your business name or name of a grandchild or yourself or whatever, and that's going to remain around the outside of that park. It's almost like buying a brick in the ground. It's a picket fence around the park.
Yeah, so that is really neat.
And you can do that online too. Just like I said, so you fill out the form and you give us, you know, your payment information, and we'll get it etched and put up there for you.
So, well, we're talking about sponsorships and money, and I know Kevin asked some questions about that. So the budget's about $319,000. Right now we're at about 85% of our
That's
goal,
correct,
so we've
yes.
received lots of grants. Are there some other donors that you'd like to acknowledge from the Big Toy?
Yeah, we have, Lori didn't mention them all, Keizer Elks, Silverton Health, gosh, we have PGE, yes, this
Northwest
company, Northwest
Natural,
Natural, all those
right.
companies. So yeah, so it is a regional because so we've had these kind of private industry, public industry things come in. But I can't say enough about the task force, which you chair along with Richard Walsh, and you guys have done a great job in getting out to the community and getting to the businesses. And I know that we haven't hit all the businesses. It's been difficult because, you know, we only have 5 or 6 people doing this, and there's a great amount of work, and we all have full-time jobs. So, I mean, if you're a business out there that's interested, please contact one of us, and our contact information is on the website, or go ahead on the website and fill out and say, I want to sponsor this component, and we'll be sure to make sure that we get you included on there, because we'll be making phone calls and following up with all that.
And we also need to mention Jackie Frankie, who's been our
We
volunteer
do,
grant
we
writer.
do.
She's done a great job. So let's talk about how people can get involved with the community build. And again, we'll mention it's June 10th
Sure.
through 14th. So we need all kinds of people there, and
do.
talk about the captains and
Sure.
and
Well,
all the different roles
Yeah,
that people
so
can have.
each shift, there'll be about 3 shifts a day, about 70 people per shift, so that's about 210 people that'll be there, probably more though. But we have what we call construction captains. And the construction captains are your skilled, and most of them have construction backgrounds, and they'll be kind of organizing that particular shift. And it's like an engineer build. We'll have stations where things will be put together at stations or built at stations and then brought in and put onto the actual build. So not everyone's working in the same spot. So we'll have different places. That'll be organized by Mark Collier and the construction captains and the consultants, because they'll be the overseers of the project. We would like our volunteers to sign up online, because then we can follow up with you. If you're skilled, you can do a table saw. If you can't run a table saw, you would be unskilled, but that's okay because we have plenty of jobs. There's so many other things you can. We had a hammer and pick up trash, which is what Commissioner Bertano wants to do. We have.
He already signed up for that.
He already signed up for that. That's right. So that job is taken. So we need people to help serve food. I mean, there's so many different jobs.
So we're going to serve 3 meals a day,
We
about
are.
200 people per meal, and all of that
Correct.
food we're looking at, most of it at least, being donated.
Most of it is being donated, and the person who's doing that is Dave Bauer. I mean, Dave has been fantastic in going out to the community and saying, look, we're doing this, and we need to feed these people that are doing this because these are 4-hour shifts and we need to feed them, and so the response has been fantastic. I don't think we've had anybody really be negative or turn us down. They're saying, yeah, we want to be involved.
And then for the kids who are younger than 16 who can't be on the construction site, we're going to have children's activities,
Correct.
childcare, so we're going to need volunteers for that too.
We're going to volunteer for childcare, volunteers in the painting tent where some painting will be done. Tiles will be painted by the kids too. So there's activities for them too. They can't actually be on the build site unless they're 16, but that doesn't mean we don't have something for them to do.
And then we have, excuse me, an art and design committee, and there were some slides actually that we saw from Leathers and Associates of people that are putting lovely drawings on the rock wall, for example. So talk about how that's going to happen.
So we'll have a few artists that have volunteered to help, and they'll be there. And the artists will probably draw like leaves up the climbing wall, or they might do monkeys, or something like that. And then the painters will come in behind the artists and then paint those. And some of the component pieces will be painted before they're put together, and some will be painted after they're put together. So if you're an artist and you really want to use your creative mind and get involved, we do need you. We can use all the artists we can get on this project.
Very good. So we have lots of volunteers that we need. We've got a great website where people can sign up. And again, give us the bottom line, what people need to remember out of this.
KeizerBigToy.org. Please come help. It's a great project, and it's something we can talk about for years and years and years down the road.
So Marlene, thank you for all of the effort that you've put into this project. It's been just a real thrill to be able to work with you and with everyone in Keizer. And it's a great project, and I just know it's going to be, as Lori said, it's a legacy, something that we will remember for years and years to come. So thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.